I've been trying to call. I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe I'm going through withdrawals. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch, baby. I look around and since it is cold and empty, no one's around to judge me. I can't see clearly when you're gone. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep right until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust. I'm running out of time, 'cause I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Hit the road in overdrive. The city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can't see clearly when you're gone. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust. I'm coming back to let you know I can never say it on the phone. But whenever let it go, this time I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep right until I feel your touch. I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. Feel free to be whoever you want to be. Feel free to...
Cut the music. Cut the music. Ain't got time to feel free today. All right, that's another bonus episode. I don't think I've ever done a Wednesday episode in my life, but I am today because I woke up with too much to say. I've been on Twitter I feel like for the last 24 hours, I feel like I've just been on Twitter constantly reading what fans have to say. I did a podcast yesterday. You obviously all know what's going on. Mike Vrabel's been fired. A new head coaching search has begun. Everybody's throwing in their 2 cents in the national media and the local media, fans. Everybody's talking. We heard from Amy Adams Strunk yesterday. We heard from Rand Carthon yesterday. And there's a lot going on, okay? And I told you yesterday that at the time I recorded yesterday, I didn't know how to feel. Didn't know how to feel. Because you know what? I like Mike Vrabel. I do. I like him. But I didn't know how to feel yesterday when I officially got the news that he was fired. But now that it's been 24 hours, I've had the opportunity to sleep on it. Let me just share some thoughts with you that I have. That I've just been thinking about this for 24 hours now. Let me first of all say this. Yes, I wish Titans ownership would have handled this a little better yesterday. And what I mean by that is I could have done without the pre-edited, cut together, scripted Q&A with Amy Adams Strunk that they uploaded to the Titans YouTube account, asked questions by Mike Keith, and I love Mike Keith, the voice of the Titans, but I mean, this was to have a pre-recorded, pre-edited, scripted together thing. I didn't care much for that. And then throwing Rand Carthon out there by himself to talk to the reporters when he clearly didn't have much to say at all. Yes, I wish we hadn't done that. That could have done without the video, and it should have been Amy talking to the media instead of Rand. Rand should have been there, setting off to the side, but it was Amy's decision to fire Vrabel. I believe that wholeheartedly. I do believe that the rumors of Rand and Vrabel having a bad relationship, I think Rand told the truth. I think he and Vrabel probably did get along better than we thought they did. This was Amy's decision to fire Vrabel. It should have been Amy talking to the media yesterday and not via a pre-recorded YouTube video. She should have been talking to the reporters instead of Rand Carthon, who really had nothing of any significance to say at all. With that being said, now let's move forward. Mike Vrabel. I am not here to tell you that Mike Vrabel is not a good coach, because he is. Mike Vrabel is a good coach. And if you're looking for me to come on here and tell you otherwise, I'm not. He is a good coach. And he is going to land somewhere else. He's probably going to be interviewed by most of, if not all of, these other teams who are looking for head coaches. And rightfully so. He deserves to be a head coach in this league. But somebody's going to have to help me a little bit. Somebody's going to have to tell me, when did Mike Vrabel go from being a good football coach to being literally irreplaceable? Somebody's going to have to tell me when he went from being a good coach to being the greatest, to being on the level of Belichick and Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh and Andy Reid. When did he go from being a good football coach to being on the level of those guys? Because to hear the way that people are talking in the national media for the last couple of days, you would think the Titans just fired Vince Lombardi. You would think that the Titans just fired Tony Dungy. You would think the Titans just fired Mike Tomlin. You would think the Titans just fired the greatest coach of all time. Have you heard the way people are talking about this? This is a mistake. The Titans are worse off. The Titans are idiots. The Titans are the butt of so many jokes today because they fired Mike Vrabel. And I'm not here to tell you Mike Vrabel's a bad coach. I am not here to tell you that, I originally said I would have given him one more year. I would have given him one more season with a better roster to see how he did. But Amy chose otherwise. And there's more coming to the surface today, by the way. I don't know if you've seen Ian Rappaport and the stuff he's saying, but more and more, now it's starting to look like maybe Vrabel did want out a little bit. There really was some significant issues behind the scenes, and a lot of it, the one that keeps getting brought up, is him going to Foxborough, Massachusetts on the Titans bye week this year to get inducted into the New England Patriots Hall of Fame. And some of the way things went there, it is clear something went down that Amy didn't like. And some people have indicated that the New England Patriots, some people are accusing them of tampering. Maybe they tried to talk with Vrabel about being their coach while he was still employed by the Titans. Wouldn't shock me a bit. This is the New England Patriots we're talking about. This is the Deflategate New England Patriots. This is the Spygate New England Patriots. Far be it from them to cheat. Far be it from them to go behind the curtain and break the rules. Wouldn't shock me a bit. They were clear that Vrabel did not do enough to dispel these rumors that he was going to the Patriots when they started. He didn't do enough to tell the locker room, hey guys, I want to be here. I'm staying here. He didn't do enough in Amy's eyes to do that. So I believe in the coming days we are going to find that Vrabel is not so innocent here and that he didn't just get chased off. I think there were significant issues that maybe Amy and Rand both feel like they're not at liberty to share, but that's speculation at this point. Either way, I need somebody to tell me when Mike Vrabel went from being a good football coach to being an irreplaceable, great coach. If I hear the words leader of men one more time, oh, Mike Vrabel, he's a leader of men. Mike Vrabel, he's a leader of men. I don't give a crap if you're a leader of men. I want to win football games. I don't care who you are. I don't care if we just hired you from being a cashier at Walmart. If you can win football games, climb aboard. I don't give a crap whether you're a good leader of men. I don't give a crap whether you understand the rules better than anybody else. What's your win-loss record? Because that's what you got hired to do. You got hired to win games. We went 6-11 this year. And the year before that, we had a 7-game losing streak where we gave up a 4-game lead in the division to a Jacksonville Jaguars team that was 4-8 and came back to win the division. And you're going to sit here and tell me that the guy that was coaching during that time would be irreplaceable? If he was coaching any other team, he would be on the hot seat and nobody would even question it. Can I say that? If he was on any other team, and if he were anybody else, nobody would even be questioning whether or not he should be on the hot seat. It would be expected. But for whatever reason, the national media has a love affair, and it has really come to light over the last 24 hours. The national media has a love affair with Mike Vrabel, and they think he's better than he is. And I'm not saying he's not good. He's a good coach, but he ain't great. And some people are going to disagree with that, and I don't care. He is a good coach. He is not a great coach. Because great coaches don't sit there while their best wide receiver that the franchise has ever had gets traded. We blame all that on John Robinson, and rightfully so, but I've said it on this podcast time and time again. Are we really going to act like Mike Vrabel was innocent? As a matter of fact, after A.J. Brown was traded, John Robinson and Mike Vrabel both sat there in a press conference, and Vrabel said, "I'm fine with the way this went down. I'm totally good with it." That's the guy we tried to let off the hook because he stood up and looked a little angry. Titan Fox in the chat says 2021 season we dressed 93 players and still got the number 1 AFC seed. Yeah, exactly. Vrabel's good at that. He's good at taking the scraps and figuring out how to get the best out of them. Yes, but clearly that does not get you all the way home. That was the ceiling for this team. You cannot win championships that way. You can't win championships taking an undrafted guy from the practice squad and just hoping he becomes better than he is. And I don't hate Vrabel. I like Vrabel and I think he's a good coach, but to see the way people are talking about it, it's like, oh, it's just the greatest coach. This is the best coach we've seen hit the head coaching wire for hire in years. Are you kidding me? It's not that he's not good. It's not that he shouldn't be in high demand. But you guys are acting like he's done no wrong. Let me tell you something. Do you know my theory? I think the national media, we already know, this ain't nothing new. They don't know nothing about the Titans. They don't care about the Titans. We're the little old podunk Titans from Nashville, Tennessee, and nobody knows who we are, and nobody knows who plays for us. That's the way we're viewed. We're the little Tennessee Titans, and, maybe they'll go 8-9 or 9-8, and that's the best they'll hope for. They don't care about the Titans. They don't know about the Titans. Okay, the only thing they have known about the Titans for 5 years is that Derrick Henry is our running back and Mike Vrabel is our coach. That's the only thing that they found intriguing about the Titans for the last 5 years. And they didn't love Vrabel as much as they loved the idea of Vrabel. They love that story of a former player who was in Foxborough, who played for the Patriots on their dynasty, now a head coach who's experiencing some success. Oh, sometimes he puts on the pads and takes some hits out there at practice. Oh, when he's in press conferences, he says funny stuff. We like his personality. We like how old school he is. We like the way he conducts himself in interviews. We love the fact that he's a tough guy. We love the way that he knows ball. We love the fact that he says funny things and he's no nonsense and he's tough and he's hard nosed. We love the fact that he's played recently enough that we can still remember watching him play, and now we're seeing him coach. And oh my goodness, it's Mike Vrabel. We remember him. He caught that touchdown that Tom Brady threw in the Super Bowl that time. And now he's coaching and he's experiencing success. Oh, we like Mike Vrabel. Listen, I like Mike Vrabel too. But that does not negate the things that have gone horribly wrong with this franchise that he finds himself right in the middle of. You can like his personality, you can like the way he conducts himself all you want. That does not change the fact that our offense has been stuck in 1975 since he got here. With the exception of 1 year where Arthur Smith was the offensive coordinator. It does not change the fact that he has continually put guys in position on the coaching staff where they don't belong, where they're not qualified to be, and then kept them there longer than they should have been. It does not change the fact that this offense has not scored 30 points in a game since December of 2021. It does not change the fact that, as I said a little bit ago, we had a 4-game lead in the AFC South last year, and we lost 7 in a row. This does not change the fact that he has continually played conservative, boring, unwatchable football that is literally, as I said yesterday, has made me want to bang my head against the wall some Sundays in the fall because it's so awful. Never mind the fact that he is so gung-ho about running the football. Like, what year is it? Like, never mind the fact that every other team that's making noise in the playoffs is more modern, progressive, throwing the ball. But no, never mind. We're over here in Nashville trying to establish the run game so that we can run play action. We're over here in Nashville saying that we don't even have the ability to just drop back and pass. We're over here in Nashville. Remember that first game against Houston this season when we wore the Oilers throwbacks? That offensive game plan is still so baffling to me at this moment that I still can't comprehend how many times we ran the ball on first down over and over and over and over again. The national media can try and glamorize Vrabel all they want and pretend that he is just this football god who has never done any wrong, but I know better because I watched the games unlike them. I watched every Tennessee Titans game since 1999. I've watched them all. You can't tell me nothing. I have watched every single week as this offense has struggled to even get 3 yards at a time. I have watched as we have let guys like David Long go, and then he goes to Miami, and not only is he playing, but I'm sweating right now. Not only is David Long playing better, but he's staying healthy, which is something he couldn't do in Nashville. Not only is A.J. Brown playing better, but he's staying healthy. I know he's hurt right now, but that's the first big injury that he's had since he got to Philadelphia, and he's still going to play. So he stayed healthy. He's played better. The list goes on and on. T.R. Tart couldn't wait to get out of here. Josh Reynolds couldn't wait to get out of here. Julio Jones sure never cared much to be here. But yet we hear from certain players, and I love Taylor Lewan, my dad. I love Will Compton. I love the boys. But I understand they're here and they're saying, God, this is a mistake. This is such a great coach. But there's a lot of players who would disagree with you. There's a lot of players who don't agree. Everybody loves Mike Vrabel. Everybody loves Mike Vrabel. It's like, well, apparently not. I mean, you guys are sitting here telling me this guy's a great coach. We was 6-11. How about this, national media? How about everybody who's saying, oh, the Titans are stupid for doing this? When's the last time you even thought about the Titans? If we're so good with Vrabel, when's the last time you even thought about the Tennessee Titans? When's the last time they even crossed your mind? You probably have to go back to 2021. Even in 2021, we were the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they still didn't give a crap. They still didn't care. They couldn't care less what we did then. So now they're sitting here going, oh, this is going to be a major mistake. This is going to be a major mistake by the Titans to let Mike Vrabel go. Oh, yeah? Well, let me ask you this. Who were you going to pick to win the AFC South next year? Just curious. If it's such a mistake, if it is such an unmitigated disaster to let Vrabel go, then let me ask you this. Who were you taking to win the AFC South next year? Because I know it wasn't the Titans. All I hear is, oh, C.J. Stroud and the Texans, oh, they're going to run this division for years. Anthony Richardson's coming back in Indianapolis. They're going to be great. Jacksonville's going to make some changes on that coaching staff, and they're going to get Trevor Lawrence going good, and they're going to be good. I don't hear anybody talk about the Titans. Nick Wright, who has no credibility at all, but he was on Twitter the other night saying, looking like Big Bird, he was like, hey, the AFC South's going to be exciting next year because the Colts are getting Richardson back and the Texans have Stroud and the Jaguars have Trevor. He didn't even mention the Titans. So you're telling me that the Titans were in such a great place with Vrabel that nobody was even acknowledging their existence in the division. That's how good we are with Vrabel. That's how relevant we are with Vrabel, that you guys don't even know anything about us. You don't care that we're here. You don't care that we're in the division. You just assume that we're the odd team out. So that's how good we are with Vrabel. You mean to tell me if we would have kept Vrabel that you guys would have been like, oh, the Titans now. Whoa, look at them. If we're so good with Vrabel, why haven't I heard anybody even talk about the Tennessee Titans for the last year or two? Because they know we sucked. We sucked with Vrabel. And now that he's fired, I have to hear everybody just blatantly make up fairy tales about how good of a coach he is. And again, let me go back. It's nothing. He is a good coach. But I cannot deal with this mentality that's like, oh, he's a perfect coach. He's a great coach. They'll never find anyone better than Vrabel. Listen, I'll be the first to tell you, if we go out and hire some bum, that comes in here and is horrible, I'll be the first to come back right here and say, we should have kept Vrabel, we were wrong. If we hire a bum, yeah. If Vrabel goes to New England or Washington or wherever he's going and wins a Super Bowl, then I'll be the first one to come back here. But you know what? Philadelphia, there's people on Philadelphia Eagles Twitter who are like, oh man, we should go get Mike Vrabel as our coach. Philadelphia is currently wanting to fire the coach that they have because they think he sucks. Never mind, they went to the Super Bowl last year. They're in the playoffs again this year at 11-6. They want to fire their coach. So yeah, go ahead and send Vrabel over there. Have half the roster on IR, go 6-11, and run the ball on first down the entire game, scoring 15 points a game. And let me know how that works out in Philly. Please. Go send him to Philly and see how they like it there. Just because a guy is old school and he's the only thing about the Titans that you even know does not mean that it's the wrong decision to let him go. And you know what? Yesterday I didn't know how I felt about it, but today I'm encouraged about this because you know what? I had to think about it. I understand where people are coming from. People are scared. People are scared because all those years we had terrible coach after terrible coach after terrible coach. Munchak, Wisenhunt, Malarkey. We had bad coach. And then we finally got a good one in Vrabel. And we're letting him go. And people are scared that that's like, oh, what do we do? We finally had a good coach and we're letting him go. But you know what? This is all I'm going to say. A lot of people said the same thing when Amy fired Mike Malarkey. What are we doing? We just went to the playoffs. We just won a playoff game. What are we doing? Ended up, Vrabel was a significant upgrade from Malarkey. I got to calm down. I'm sweating here. Some people said, why are we firing John Robinson? What are we doing? Well, so far, I think Rand Carthon has been an improvement. He hasn't been here very long, so the verdict's still out, but I think he had a pretty good draft in his first year, some pretty good free agent signings with not a lot of cap space, so I'm encouraged about Rand. So I think we at least owe this woman the benefit of the doubt to see what happens, to see who we hire. And let me tell you something. This idea that people have that Vrabel was chased out of the door, with every passing moment, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't know if it's that he wants to go to New England or what, but it's clear. Ian Rappaport's been talking about it all day. Amy wants to modernize this team. She wants to be more progressive, meaning she probably wants to actually score points, God forbid. And she sat Vrabel. This is what Ian Rappaport said. It ain't me telling you this. This is me telling you what Ian Rappaport said. Ian Rappaport said Amy sat down with Vrabel and laid out different options of what she wanted going forward, and he didn't agree to any of it. Then get out of here, man. I'm sorry, but you just came off a 6-11 season, and before that, a 7-game losing streak where you gave up a 4-game lead in the division. So spare me your list of demands that you want going forward. I'm sorry, but if you guys want to stay stuck in 1975 scoring 13 points a game and trying to squeak out these boring defensive wins over the elite in the NFL, that's fine, but I would at least like to try our hand in getting somebody in here with a modern, progressive mind. Because I have no interest in watching Will Levis walk out onto the field and on every 1st and 10 have to turn around and just hand it off. I have no interest. I have no interest in watching Will Levis throw for 100 yards a game, maybe a touchdown here or there if a tight end can get open. I have no interest. I am sick to death of watching guys play on the Tennessee Titans. And listen, I will give Vrabel this. Yes, the roster's not great. The roster is not great. And hasn't been great since the start, okay, of this season. I get that. But in the middle of that, in the middle of all of that, you look back over the season, we still had Derrick Henry, who was running well. We had Tyjae Spears, who was running well. We had DeAndre Hopkins, who was better than any of us could have thought. We still had defensive guys like Jeffrey Simmons and Danico Autry playing well. We still had Harold Landry. Amani Hooker was in there playing well. Kevin Byard for half the year playing well. A quarter of the year playing well. I'm not saying that we didn't have any bums out there, but we actually had some good guys out there too. And you want to know why the Tennessee Titans have 11 losses? Well, let's think back to the New Orleans Saints games. The New Orleans Saints game where we insisted on kicking field goals all day, weren't aggressive one time, didn't try to go for it, didn't try to make anything happen. I know Tannehill struggled that day, but like how many times this season did that happen where Vrabel could have been aggressive and he was just playing not to lose? Let's get a 10-0 lead and then grit our teeth together and hope we can hold it for the rest of the game. A lot of people, I talked about this before, Sunday against Jacksonville, that was the most aggressive, that was the most creative play calling we've seen all year. In week 18 with Tannehill. Why did we wait till week 18? And even with that, we still didn't score 30 points. And speaking of that Jacksonville game, I wonder if people would have the same opinion if the Titans had laid an egg against Jacksonville on Sunday. Because I'm hearing people acting like that Jacksonville game was enough to right the ship. I have heard it a billion times from people, from Rich Eisen, and I like Rich Eisen. But Eisen said this, Dan Orlovsky, I like Dan Orlovsky. I enjoy his analysis. But Orlovsky said this, other people have said this, they just won on Sunday in a game that meant nothing for them. He just coached them to a victory. That's how you know they're full of it, because they act like it's Vrabel and Vrabel alone. They act like Vrabel literally is the first coach in history to win a football game that didn't actually matter in terms of playoff implications. Like, newsflash, dude. This season alone, we watched the Patriots win a game after they were already out of playoff contention. They won a couple. We watched Arizona beat Philadelphia in Philadelphia when they were long since out of playoff contention. Did we go on the air and just fall all over ourselves bragging about Arizona's coach? Oh, he's a leader of men. He's a leader of men. He gets out there on the field. He gets physical with the guys, tells them how to play and how to get the rules go. Okay, are you telling me Sean McVay is not a leader of men because he doesn't do that? Are you going to tell me John Harbaugh is not a leader of men because he doesn't do that? Are you going to tell me Andy Reid is not a leader of men because he eats cheeseburgers instead of doing what Vrabel does? I mean, listen, guys, I get Vrabel has had some success here. I am never going to try to negate that. It was a great run in 2019 to get to the AFC title game. 2020, do you guys remember in 2020 when we got to the playoffs, won the division, hosted the Ravens? Do you remember some of the calls in that game when I think it was 4th and 1 in Ravens territory and we decided to punt? Leader of men, baby. Leader of men. You remember how disgusted Corey Davis was at the end of that game, so much so that he left? Leader of men. Do you remember the Bengals game where with all the different things where he allowed Todd Downing to call one of the worst games in the history of the franchise? Leader of men. And then brought Todd Downing back the next year? Leader of men. I'm not saying I'm trying to negate everything Vrabel accomplished. I'm not saying Vrabel can't be successful wherever he goes. But to act like this is just... I mean, I've seen people comparing this to when the Titans traded A.J. Brown. This ain't the same thing. This ain't the same thing. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here, but this is one of those where I got on here today with so much on my mind that I just had to hit record and get going. Guys, I'm telling you, see it through. I'm begging you to see it through. I'm begging you. I'm begging you not to just assume it's a horrible situation just because he's the best coach we've had in a long time. Why did Amy fire Mike Mularkey? Because we had hit our ceiling and couldn't go any further. We couldn't go any further. We had hit our ceiling. Can I tell you this? That's what it feels like with Vrabel. It feels like we have hit our ceiling. We've hit our ceiling. And for everybody to just ignore all of the losing, the head coaches, their job is to win games, not to be a leader of men. Being a leader of men is great, but win games, dude. Win games. You can be a leader of men. I mean, being a leader of men is great if you're like in charge over a construction site. But this is sports, man. We don't hang our hat on, at least our coach is a leader of men. I'm sick of old school ball. I'm sick of run first offense because I've been watching it my whole life. Listen, I am grateful for the great running backs that Tennessee has had. I'm grateful for Eddie. I'm grateful for CJ2K. I'm even grateful for Baby Lindell. I'm grateful for Derrick Henry is my favorite Titan of all time. And I'm grateful for what looks like a great career is going to be for Tyjae Spears. It's not that I have anything against our running backs, but I am sick to death of hearing press conferences about we just got to get that run game going. Shut up! No, we don't! I don't ever hear anybody else talk about it. I've never heard Patrick Mahomes stand up in a press conference and say, well, man, we just got to get the run game going. Never. Ever. And you know what? I'm sick of? Because I heard, you know what? I got to give him credit. Tyler Rowland in the Locked On Titans podcast, there have been times on Twitter where he's had me want to pull my hair out because I disagree with him so bad. But he's been on the money these last 2 days. And I heard him say this on his show. He talked about how many times has Vrabel stood up there at a press conference and been like, well, we just got to get it to 3rd and short. We just got to get it to 3rd and short. If we can get it to 3rd and manageable, we'll be good. It made me think of something else. I was watching the Manning cast. You know how Eli and Peyton, they do the Monday Night Football, where they talk over the game or whatever. I was watching that one night. I don't even remember who was playing. But Peyton Manning, one of the greatest ever, he was sitting there talking and he said, I remember this so vividly because I thought of Vrabel when he said it. He said, I remember when I was playing, he said, my goal was to not even get to third down. He said, my goal, every time I stepped on the field, let's get the first down on first or second down, and let's not even have to worry about third down. When I heard him say that, I was like, you, man, that's why you're one of the best ever. I love you for that. I love you, Peyton, for that. He said, I don't even want to get to third down. I want to convert it on first or second down. I don't even want to get to 3rd and 3. I don't even want to get to 3rd and 2. I want to convert it on first and second down so we don't even have to think about what we're going to call on third down. That got my hair on my arms standing up because that's the man. That's the sheriff who said that. One of the best of all time who has more credibility at that position than anybody ever. He said, I don't even want to get to third down. I don't even want to bother with it. I want to convert it on first or second down so we don't even have to put ourselves through the stress of it. Heck yeah. Gosh. So now we got to hear all the time about we just got to get it to third manageable, baby. We just got to get it to third manageable. So what? So then what? So I don't know. What are we going to do on third manageable? Run it up the middle and get stuffed? What are we going to try to do on third manageable? Throw it deep down the sideline? What are we going to do on third manageable? Can we also talk about how all the times Kyle Phillips was a healthy scratch? Because, this team's hurting for wide receivers. We have been pretty much ever since Vrabel got to the team. Kyle Phillips, healthy scratch. Why? Well, Vrabel told you why. Kind of hard to have a slot wide receiver in there that can't catch punts. What? I'm sorry I just made the mic clip. What are you even talking about? You can't have Kyle Phillips in the game because he's not the punt returner? Are you kidding me? Speaking of punt returns, you remember the London game against Baltimore where we inexplicably put Kyle Phillips back there to return a punt when there was like 2 seconds left in the half and we shouldn't have had anybody in there? All of that to say, can we chill out acting like we're letting the greatest coach of all time walk away? Can we please? He ain't won a Super Bowl as a coach. Our offense has been one of the worst in the league for 2 years. And before you hit me, let me tell you this. Before you hit me with, well, he was the coach of the year. He was the coach of the year just 2 years ago. Okay. Well, let me find this because I posted this on Twitter. You want to know who else has won coach of the year? 2014, Bruce Arians. 2015, Ron Rivera. 2016, Jason Garrett. And this 17 was Sean McVay. 2018, Matt Nagy. 2021, Mike Vrabel. 2022, Brian Daboll. So do you see, just because you won Coach of the Year does not matter 2 years later. Ron Rivera won Coach of the Year in 2015, and 2 years later, he was fired by the Panthers. Matt Nagy? Where's he even at now? Working at FedEx with Arthur? So don't tell me that it's ridiculous to fire Vrabel just because I heard him say it all day yesterday. He was the coach of the year 2 years ago. Why in 2019 and 2020, or in 2019, they won the AFC title game. In 2020 and 2021, they won their division. Okay, well, you're leaving some stuff out. In 2020 and 2021, yes, we won the division, but what happened once we got to the playoffs? You want to know who those Titans teams remind me of in hindsight, the 2020, 2021 teams? You remember when the Bengals had Marvin Lewis as their head coach and Andy Dalton as their quarterback? And it was like they always won their division. They'd get to the playoffs. They were an easy one and done. That's what that's what those Titans teams were. They were the Marvin Lewis, Andy Dalton Bengals. That's what they were. What happened to Marvin Lewis, by the way? What happened? Fired. What happened to Andy Dalton? Goodbye. You're out of here. Okay, so they leave out some stuff. They talk about, in 2019, 2020. I'm like, okay, what have you done for me lately? Let's look at the last 2 years. Well, yeah, but no. Let's treat him like we do every other head coach in this league. Let's treat him like every other head coach we do in this league. There are Eagles fans calling for Nick Sirianni to be fired right now, and they may actually do it if they lose to Tampa Bay this weekend. And he's really done nothing but win since he got there. Overall. And you're telling me that it's ridiculous to fire Mike Vrabel after these last 2 years and what we've seen? I keep going back to this. Dude, I like Vrabel. I appreciate what he's done. We had some good times. He's a good coach. Best of luck. Godspeed. As you go to wherever you're going, probably Foxborough. And by the way, have fun with, Bailey Zappi, but whoever they draft at quarterback. Have fun. Have fun with that roster they got over there. I know how good you are with roster building. I shouldn't say that. Because that sounds like I don't like Vrabel. I like Vrabel. I do. But man, first, I'm sick of acting like he's innocent in all of this. I'm sick of acting like he was a poor innocent lamb who was kicked out of the organization. You're going to find out eventually that was not all there was to it. I'm sick of acting like he's better than he is. He's not bad. He's a good coach, but he is not Tony Dungy. He is not Sean Payton, even though Sean Payton is, kind of falling off a little bit, but he's not Andy Reid. Like, stop. Just because he's the only thing you know about the Titans doesn't mean that he's just untouchable. I want to read this, and I don't know if they're watching today. I stole this off Twitter from Bizarro PK on Twitter. Just listen to this. I don't know if they said this or if they stole it from somewhere. Just see if this doesn't sum it up. The Tennessee Titans are known for their distinct approach to football since their move to Nashville. Their play style, sometimes called smash mouth, vomit, focuses on running the ball first. The team's strategy involves grinding out the game and aiming for a victory by the end. While this style has resulted in seasons where the team's record hovers around 500 with occasional better or worse performances, there have also been some successful seasons. These successes include trips to the Super Bowl or to the AFC Championship game, which were achieved through a combination of everything coming together perfectly and, in all too many cases, miracles. Recently, the NFL has witnessed a shift toward consistently winning teams built around a franchise quarterback. The Tennessee Titans have found their man in Will Levis, gosh, I hope so, and team owner Amy Adams Strunk is looking to change the team's identity by building a long-term vision around their young quarterback. In the past, she brought in the right head coach and general manager to align with her vision. However, now that she wants to evolve and adapt, former head coach Mike Vrabel appears not on board with this new direction and may not favor the young quarterback and therefore was fired. On the other hand, the first-year GM Rand Carthon is willing to change and still holds his job. I heard Taylor Lewan say it yesterday. I hope Titans fans are ready because nothing's going to be the same now. Nothing's going to be the same. Good. I love you, Taylor, but good. Like, he said that like it was a threat. Do you guys understand nothing's going to be the same? Yes, I'm very aware nothing's going to be the same, and I welcome it. Please, Give me something other than the same. Give me something other than 6-11. Give me something other than 13 points a game. Give me something other than running that football. Give me something other than putting a bunch of undrafted practice squad players out there and hoping for the best. I couldn't believe he said that like it was a bad thing. You guys realize nothing's going to be the same? Heck yeah, we do. And most of us are thrilled about it. Please, give us something different. That's what we've been asking for years. I'm done. That's I think I've said everything I needed to say. I didn't plan on doing an episode today, but when I woke up this morning, I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to get on there. And now a head coaching search begins. Now, I will say this. We better not hire no bum. We better not hire no bum. Because if we just end up hiring another defensive-minded guy, we may as well just kept Vrabel. Okay, I'll tell you who I want. I want who everybody else wants. I want Ben Johnson. I want the offensive coordinator from Detroit. We'll talk more about this in the days ahead, but I want Ben Johnson. That's who I want, man. Looking at his track record, looking at the places he's been and the success that has followed, looking what he's accomplished with Jared Goff this year. Heck yeah, I would be thrilled with Ben Johnson. Some people have mentioned Slowick, the offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. I'm down with that too. Take him from the rival, looking at how he's helped develop C.J. Stroud. Maybe he can do the same for Will Levis. I'm down with that too. There's reports out there, I don't know the validity of it. There's reports that the Titans are planning to interview Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan. Hey, cool, great. Tell him to bring T. Higgins with him. There's some reports about the Dolphins offensive coordinator and whether they're going to get them. I don't know. We'll talk about that in the days ahead. Eric Bieniemy, some people are going to talk about that too. But I want somebody offensive-minded that can come in here and help us to score points, because lest we forget, the whole point of the game of football is to score freaking points. It's not to be a leader of men. The whole point of sports in general is to score points. Not to have a good personality that people enjoy interviewing. Forget that. Win games. How about that? Goodness gracious. I'm going to call it right there. That's it. And scene. God bless you guys. I'm planning on being back Friday. I don't think I got anything else to say. I don't know if anything's going to happen tomorrow. If so, I'll come back tomorrow. But for right now, I'm planning on being back Friday with the regular episode of Two Tone Talk Podcast. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this on the Two Tone by God pod, where we're staying way too high on the wins, way too low on the losses, and just give Amy a chance here. Give her the benefit of the doubt. If it fails, if it's all a failure, I will come back here and I will own up to it. If Vrabel goes and wins a Super Bowl in New England, I'll come back here and own up to it. But until then, I'm going to have some faith that better days are coming. God bless you guys. Tighten up. Bye.
Feels like it's picking on me, but trying to please everybody, that ain't no way to be. So many people try to get you to fit their mold.